is going on, good people? We are back at it for another one, and one thing consistent about lawn care is change, and things are going to change. So as you can see, we had some changes that were going on, and sometimes you can prevent them and do something about it ahead of time, and sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. Well, in this one, if you've got driveway construction, or if you have sidewalk construction being done by your city or your utilities, you can do these couple of things right here ahead of time to make sure that your recovery process is as quick and seamless as possible, and you can keep those edges along those hard surfaces pristine and immaculate better than the rest of your neighbors that probably aren't going to do this. So let's get into this video and let you all know what you should be doing ahead of time. All right, so the first part in this process is gonna be communicate. Make sure you're communicating with whether it's your utility company, or if it's gonna be, for me, it was my local city that was doing the sidewalk repair. Make sure that you're communicating with them so you understand their timelines and when they're gonna be doing the work. The next step is removing that grass, or what's now gonna be sod, from that area. So just using some simple hand tools. I use my half moon edger to go in and cut out those areas that I was gonna be removing. You've seen me use this same tool for creating my live edges. And then just using a flathead shovel, or any shovel that you have, or a pickaxe, any of those things will work. Getting in there, you just want to remove the sod from those areas, trying to make sure you get a decent amount of the root zone that comes along with it, because you're going to be saving this side. So if you can get multiple inches of sod, which is what I tried to do, make sure I got up under there and I got a lot of the soil and the root system that was there, so that I have a stronger system when I got ready to put it back into the ground. So the next part of this is going to be, how do you keep it alive? Where do you put this sod at while they're doing the construction work? Make sure you're picking out an area that is going to get some sun, but you don't want it to be full sun all day long, especially if it's during the summertime. And if you can, make sure you're placing this side onto some soil. Do not put it on a hard surface, as in like rock or like your driveway or anything like that, because it's just going to be holding heat, and it's also going to be drying out that root zone. This is the area that I picked out. It's just on the back side. This is my storage area for a whole bunch of stuff. This is the junky part of the yard that y'all don't see most of the time. I got to figure out what to do with this, but this is where I stored it. So my mulch bed and everything is here, and this is where I'm laid. I just had some mulch that was here. I raked that out, kind of piled it on this side, and as you can see, I raked the mulch all the way up against that side. And then if you pull this back, you can see the moisture that is holding in there, which is key to keeping these edges from drying out. And as you can see, I have packed this in tight. There are no seams, even though this is multiple cutout sections, as you saw that I had to do. This is all packed in really tight with no seams at all to help hold that moisture in. This is what you want to go for. All right, so there are many people that struggle like with their edges against the sidewalk. So there's a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons being heat. So your edges are going to be the first to dry out. Your concrete always heats up and it holds heat. So your edges, they typically tend to dry out quicker and they struggle. But also there's another reason why your edges typically struggle. That's because when the concrete's poured, normally there is some runover outside of the form which is the wood that actually holds the concrete in place to kind of form it up. They call them form boards. This is a perfect example of the concrete that has flowed under the form board. As you can see, there's a nice indentation right there. That's where the wood form board was at. All of this is concrete that has flowed outside of it. So we're gonna have to get all of this up so we can get straight soil down into it. So that root, that's about an inch from the top. So if we just put topsoil over that, or we just laid the side there, those roots are not gonna be any more than an inch deep. So we're gonna get all of this cleaned up so that we can get nice deep roots right along this concrete. All right, so once the construction is done, you're gonna want to get that side back in the ground as soon as possible. Don't wait around, don't delay. You're gonna want to get it back in as soon as possible so that it can start back re-establishing itself and start back rooting into the ground. That way it's gonna prevent any die off, and it's gonna be less stress the sooner that it can get back into the ground and get rooted. All right, so now that we've got the soil prepped, we're gonna put down a couple of products along with to help this process along. So first thing, as I've always been talking about through this whole thing, moisture is going to be key to this recovery. So we're gonna go down with some Hydratane. I've got my 2-gallon jug here. So you typically go down with about 2 ounces per gallon. And I think I've got it right around 4 ounces in here. So we'll get this mixed up. And I'm also going down with some Cider Grow. These two products are from Ecologel, so I will be going down with these. That's gonna help moisture, root development, and also on top of that, we're gonna go with another product. This is gonna be the 31818 from Simple Lawn Solutions. Not gonna push a lot of top growth and nitrogen, but 18% phosphorus, 18% potassium. That's gonna help us out with that root development and the recovery. So we're gonna go down with that on the top as the finisher. And the special thing that I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna drench this into the bottom side of the soil on the side. That's gonna get it down inside the root zone, right where it needs to be. I don't have to wait for it to get watered in because it's already gonna be there. So when you're doing this, if you know you've got construction work that's coming, if you can, go out, talk to the gentleman, find out what their plans are, and maybe this is an opportunity that you can actually get out there, cut the side out before they actually get ready to start doing their work, and then that'll allow you to save it. And like I said, this is only after a little over a week, about a week and a half since this was laid back down. It is looking mint, it is growing in, no issues, no die off on there. So that's gonna wrap this one up, y'all. And I'm glad this part is done, but we still got that jungle over there to tackle since I've been gone. All right, y'all, if you're striving to have those immaculate lawns or garden, just know we work.